Welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio from Stewards Planning Group. Stewards Planning Group is a company that specializes in helping you build purposeful retirement plans, custom plans that not only help clients steward their treasure, but also their time and talent as well. They believe if you're taken care of financially, you can go even further to make the family, community, and kingdom impact you truly desire to make, which is the ultimate purpose of wealth. If you'd like to set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting with one of their financial advisors, please give them a call at 222-4236. You can request a meeting at stewardsplanning.com, or you can simply stop by their office on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio, and I'm your host, Ben Taatjes, joined again today in the studio with one of our talented advisors, Matt Hoekstra. How are you today?
Great.
Hey, it's good to be in the middle of fall, getting into it. The farmers are moving, and it's been a pretty nice fall for most people. Matt, you're a hunter. Have you been out this year?
Not as much as I would like, but the seasons are just kind of heating up. So hopefully we can get some more stand time in.
Well, that's good. Well, good. It's as per usual, the first episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio of the month, and we're talking about money mindset with Matt. And I don't think we bring this up enough to our clients and to our listeners. But you have your master's in psychology, and I think that's something that's proven invaluable to our clients and in your meetings.
Yeah, it's knowing what to do with numbers and tools and strategies and things like that is one thing, but understanding how each person operates and how they, why they want to do the things that they want to do, is extremely valuable. And I'll just give you one quick example, and that is, what I've learned over the years is that the most efficient thing isn't always the right thing for every client. And, an example of that is, we can work to try and save money on taxes and do all the right things from an efficient tax perspective. But if making that decision and doing that, keeps the client from being able to utilize money the way that they need to, then what's the point? You know what I mean? And so those are the types of things that a training in psychology helps me to be able to deep dive with somebody and get to the bottom of what is meaningful to you and how do we help you get to the best place possible.
Yeah, I love that. And just today, Matt, I was visiting with one of our clients, and they had mentioned to me, like, they had a good friend who was a postal carrier, and it's a true story. He had worked from ages 67, his full retirement age, up until 70, in order to get a higher Social Security benefit. And you probably know where I'm going with this, but he had worked really hard up until that point to get the higher Social Security. And once he retired, he slowed down a lot, and actually his health has been failing him. He's diagnosed with Parkinson's, a number of other things that have caused him some regret. And it's tough because those last 3 years, right, those 3 years that he worked when he didn't really want to be working, just to have a higher Social Security check now, right, he's limited in the amount of time that he may live to get that higher Social Security check. So sometimes I think, to your point, is we make these decisions, and I used to do this all the time, even with clients. We'd give this Social Security advice. Yeah, wait, postpone as long as you can. So your full retirement age, but let's wait, because Social Security, your benefit's going to grow by 8% or whatever it is up until age 70. So we should delay. And at the end of the day, we've found that may have been, from a efficiency or even a rate of return, potentially the best advice, if you will. The use of that Social Security in those key years from ages 65 to age 70, and being able to have the freedom to feel as if I'm not drawing down any investment accounts, I'm simply spending the Social Security money, allows people to spend and to do more if they want to do in those years. So I love that. I love the mindset of money, and I know that you bring a ton to our clients and to our team around that idea. And that's kind of what we're talking about today. We're kind of keying off we're getting close to the end of the year, and a lot of our clients are hearing RMDs, required minimum distributions, coming up. That's the amount, of course, that the IRS says you must take out of your retirement account. Why do they do that? Well, they want to tax us, and they want to use that money, and they want you to to at least have to pull some of it out. And we won't get into how it's calculated and all that stuff today on the show. But essentially what we want to make sure our clients hear is it's not always super simple with what you do with that money.
Yeah, and I think we do get that question a lot, and I take for granted because we deal with it every day, but I get the question of what do I do with my required minimum distribution and how much is it going to be? And so what I'll do a lot of times if clients are in their 50s or 60s is we'll run a projection and say, okay, we're going to give you a hypothetical rate of return and we're going to see, what this could look like in 10 years or 5 years or 3 years. And if the client needs it, first and foremost, then we pull that money out and we use it to live. I mean, that's option number one, is just to pull that money out and use it to live. Option number two, let's say you don't need it, which a lot of people find themselves in. They're bummed out that the government's forcing them to pull money out when they don't need it. So two things I've seen. One is, I know somebody who, not a client of mine, but I know somebody who has a real hard time spending money. And I don't think they're ever going to spend all the money they have. And this is one way to be able to say, take that and do something with it. Take your required distribution and do something with it. Okay, so be intentional with that. But one of the things that I love to do is I love to compare. Okay, what a lot of clients like to utilize their IRAs to give, and whether they give regularly to their church or charity or whatever that is. What I like to do is I like to see where is your required minimum distribution in relation to your annual giving. Because let's say, somebody's required distribution is $10,000 a year, right? Or $10,000 in that first year, but they like to give, and they normally give $10,000. It's simple. Now we can just utilize that for charitable giving, and there's no taxes to be paid on it. So you didn't pay taxes when it went in, you didn't pay taxes when it grew, and now you're not paying taxes when you pull it out. And so we can do that. Now, not everybody gives their full required distribution. So let's just say their required distribution is $10,000 and they give $5,000. Well, now only half of their required minimum distribution will be taxed, and we can find a place for that. They can utilize it to live on. They can, take a trip. They can do what they need to do with it. But that's where a little pre-planning goes a long ways.
Yeah, and just to clarify, you mentioned QCD, which is a qualified charitable distribution, which can happen once we reach age 70 and a half, and not necessarily your required minimum distribution age, but at 70 and a half, that becomes available to taxpayers. So once again, I think that mindset of being able to use your money for a cause, like to use it as a great charitable giving vehicle, especially this time of year, needs to be thought about more often.
Yeah, and let me just say one caveat to that. I've made it a point when I'm talking to my clients to say you don't have to give all your money away. You don't have to give your IRA away. Our strategy here is let's take a look at what you're doing and maximize that. So if you're already giving, how do we give the most efficient way? Sometimes clients hear like, in order for me to take money out of it, I have to give it away to charity. That's not the case. It's just, how do we marry those two things of the RMD and the qualified charitable distribution with what you're already doing?
Yeah, I love it, Matt. And I think that's a key. I mean, we'll look at the tax return. We'll say, hey, are you giving? If you are, some of our clients aren't even itemizing, and they're able now to really make a full benefit of those charitable gifts by utilizing a QCD strategy. So that's good stewardship. And until next week, from all of us at Stewards Planning Group, steward well.
Do you need help stewarding your time, your talent, or your treasure? If so, Stewards Planning Group can help. Now is the time to set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting. You can do this one of three ways. Number one, give them a call right now at 222-4236. You can request a meeting online at stewardsplanning.com, or you can just stop by their office located on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. We'll see you next time.
Securities offered through Cetera Wealth Services, LLC, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cetera Investment Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity.